Welcome to the ultimate EVA guide.
It's EVA, darling.
Whoa, whoa. I'm terribly sorry, Eva. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. Welcome to the ultimate EVA guide. EVA is a devilish protector / support, whatever you want to call her, that relies heavily on using her healing to deal damage but also heal your teammates at the same time, using your orbs to have creative movement but also locking people down, pulling people and stun locking them to set up for your teammates. I think it's a very interesting kit that has a lot of playmaking potential but will be kind of hard to master, but we'll get straight into the abilities first. EVA's LMB is a point-and-click ability that can be used on both enemies and on allies. This is an ability that if used on enemies will deal damage over time. You'll just have to keep on holding it. Note that it can be blocked by enemies moving behind stuff. Same also versus where you need to be careful on height. But if you use this on an ally, it will heal the ally, but also it will drain mana at the same time. But positioning is going to be key because of how you can move around. This is also a great tool to hold onto enemies over Abyss because you can just dash after them and hold your LMB ready to be able to spike them instantly. But note that the height is a very crucial thing to play around. If your allies are jumping, you cannot heal them. You need to wait for them to be on ground. Same for enemies if you want to try to spike them. If they're too low, you just cannot hit them. Then we have EVA's main ability, which will be the RMB. This is the bread and butter of healing and for damage. You place down an orb, which you can move around with your LMB. If enemies are in the orb range, then they will take damage. If an ally is in range, then they'll be healing. So you can both deal damage and you can heal at the same time. Note that enemies can destroy these orbs. Also, if you have them over Abyss, you cannot spike the enemy. Sadly, would have been cool, to be able to spike with it. But for safety measures, you can fly safely through them. EVA's shift ability is a short dash that also makes you go through projectiles. This does not work on walls and is definitely a very easy thing to use through projectiles. Yeah, guys, I promise it's easy. It's super easy to get through it. Yay. Then we have EVA's Q ability. This is one of the main things to use for peeling, mobility, but also damage. You pull your enemy away from you, but also to you if you want. And at the same time, you can use this to pull your orbs, either pull people into them or pull your own orbs into the enemy. EVA's ultimate is a cage. You place down an orb or like a field where anybody of an enemy that is inside it will be locked until they either destroy the orb or the time runs out or you get pulled out of the cage and you get stunned. This is where you start comboing it with, for example, your RMB or with powers such as Air Blast and Iron Fist, where you can pull them or punch them, anything out of it to stun combos. This can also be comboed with ally hunters like Bishop or Kingpin, pulling them out. Note also that enemies cannot get out of it with powers. Even if you have Blink or Rewind, you cannot get out of the cage unless you kill the orb. Then lastly, we have EVA's passive. This one is very interesting because what it does is that when you stomp a wisp, it will heal you for the duration that you stomp, and it will also reduce the cooldown of your abilities. As you can see, the ultimate cooldown is going down tremendously. This is why it's super important to play around your cooldowns and make EVA stomp the wisps. EVA's strength in the fight revolves around setting up the orbs and playing around space to try to deal as much damage, but mostly heal your allies as much as possible. You want to place your orbs in a way where you can always heal your enemies, and so that it also works as a peeling tool for them so the enemy doesn't want to move through them. This also combined with the ultimate that may seem like a very aggressive tool, but should in most cases be used to punish the enemy for not having shift available or to peel an ally trying to get away. This means that you can always set up stuns. If somebody's trying to engage onto one of your carries, you can set it up on your carry, and if they are in it, that means it's easy for your carry to get out, but also to follow up, deal damage afterwards. A lot of the movement that you have to think about with EVA is how you move around the RMBs, because it's connected to your LMB. So you can also heal up the orbs at the same time as you move them around. So placements are going to be very, very important. EVA's weaknesses, on the other hand, revolves around not having much mobility. To be able to peel yourself, as mentioned with the pull and the ultimate, you need very precise placement. And this can, in often cases, just be juked, or if you use one of your abilities aggressively and somebody wants to punish that, that means you have less tool to help yourself. You are a hunter that can easily get down, and if people are good at focusing your orbs and focusing the ultimate orb, then you can get around a lot of the peeling and healing tools of EVA. So make sure that you focus on your positioning, and if you're not going to be playing EVA and you just want to punish her, then just look out for what abilities are available. Even if just the dash is available, you can easily jump if you make sure that the pull is down or if the ultimate is down to easily punish down an EVA. Now or to recommended equipment and recommended powers. My recommended build, the core easy build, I would say is Mind Blade and Interweavers. You want a Mana Blade and you want a Tech Blade. The Mind Blade is really good because you'll be using a lot of mana. Your healing drains mana, and being able to always have uptime on your abilities is going to be good for both peeling and for sustain. That's why you want the cooldown reduction. Now that cooldown reduction is split for abilities and dash abilities, that means that you don't really need too much on dash because your core abilities are also peeling tools. So having Tech, the Interweaver and Mind Blade helps a lot. Now the second thing is you can also switch out the Interweaver for power user, because that can be very good for different powers that can also help heal or keep your allies alive. So if you know that you're going to be going through a lot of vaults in the game or you want to play for powers in the vault, make sure you take power user instead of Interweaver. This also then goes into the power suggestion, where one of the main things I would recommend is Air Blast. Peeling tools like Air Blast is going to be really good. But also general support powers, for example Rescue Turtle is good. A more niche peeling tool can also be Iron Fist, as mentioned earlier, where you can combat this with ultimate but still be a peeling tool, is also very good. So most things that you would want to go on, for example Seth or a Luna, is still very good on EVA as well. Then onto ability order. I recommend, of course, getting a 1 point in each ability when you get on RMB first. Then I recommend 2 points in RMB because you want the cooldown reduction and the extra charge you get. Then of course you take ultimate whenever you can take ultimate. But secondly, I would max level 4 E, it's like Q for those who use Q, because that will, when you pull your orbs, will fully heal your orbs, which I think will help a lot. Then on to final thoughts. I love EVA. I love EVA's kit. I love EVA's kit. I think it's super cool and very interesting. What I do note of her kit though is that I think she will struggle a lot if you are a solo player. If you like to play alone, then you are leaning a lot more into the support role with EVA rather than having support / carry role. She's a protector like Luna and Seth, but for example with Seth on the other hand, you have a lot more carry potential. You can carry with EVA because of all of the uptime sustain you can have, but the pure damage and clutch factor I think will be slightly lower. It is hard to play around her over Abyss. Now if you're on the same height as we saw, you can easily just hold your LMB onto, but height differentials will be hard for her to play around. And there is a lot of walls and things you can easily play around to stop EVA's LMB. So I do think she has a fairly high skill ceiling in what you can showcase, but she'll be hard to master for sure. But I love the idea of her, and I think people that play together as a 3-man stack, trying to integrate EVA into a team comp can be a lot of fun, and playing around space, potentially with controllers. I can see, for example, having an Oath, having an EVA, and having a Myth on the same team can be very interesting with high DPS, good frontline, a lot of sustain. So I recommend try out EVAs in a lot of different team compositions and have fun. I think she's gonna deal a ton of damage to this community, let's just say it that way. And I hope you guys enjoy the Hunter, enjoy the guide, and I'll see you guys on the breach.